doing some word problems that have quadratic equations that we're going to solve by factoring once we get them all set up. It says the length of my rectangle is 5 yards more than twice the width. So the length of my rectangle is 5 yards more. So I'm adding 5 yards more than twice my width to the 2w then. So 5 yards more than twice my width would be 2w plus 5. It says the area of my rectangle is 63 yards squared. So I got to think about the formula for area. Area is length times width, right? So I know the area is going to be 63. I know that in for the length, I'm going to use 2w plus 5 times my w then. So 63 is going to equal 2w plus 5 times w. What am I going to do to solve that first? I'm going to use my distributive property, and 2w times w is 2w squared plus 5w, right? Equals my 63. I've got that w squared term in there, which tells me I need to solve it by factoring, but before I can factor, what do I need to do? What do I have to have it equal to? What did we do on all those other problems before this? We had to have it equal to 0, right? So that means I need to move that 63 over to the other side. So I'm going to minus my 63 and move that over. So 0 is equal to 2w squared plus 5w minus 63. Now that we got it set equal to 0, we can solve that by factoring it out. So factors of 2w squared. W times w is w squared. We need 2w squared. So 2w in w.
2w.
My signs. If the end is negative, what do you have? Look for one where the end is negative. What signs do you have?
You have to have a positive and a negative.
A positive and a negative. Because a positive times a negative gives us a negative on the end. Now we want the factors of 63. That when we do the outside plus the inside, we get a 5. So we got to think about our factors of 63. What times what is 63?
Is it 8 times 8? No?
Nope, 8 times 8 is 64.
Oh, okay. 7 times 9.
7 times 9. Do we want to try the 7 first or the 9 first?
And we're trying to get
5 in the middle.
We want the 9 first.
We're going to put the 9 first,
Because we want 5,
and then the
right?
5. Now, if I do, or not 5, 7. We want 5, yes. 9 times 7. How about I write the 7? If I do that, I'm going to get negative 14 plus 9,
Okay.
right? Which means my signs are backwards because I want to get a positive 5, not a negative 5. So we'll just fix that. We'll make this one the negative and this one the positive, so that we get 14w minus 9w, and 14 minus 9 is our 5. So now we got to solve those. 2w minus 9 equals 0, or w plus 7 equals 0. So on the first one, if I want to solve that, I'm going to add my 9. 2w equals 9, and then divide by 2. Now this is one of the rare cases that we're not going to leave the fraction answer because we're doing the length of the side. 9 divided by 2 is what is a decimal? 4.5. So my width there says it's 4.5. Okay? If we solve the other one, what's going to happen? If I solve the one that says w plus 7 equals 0, what happens there? You get negative 7. Can you have a width that is negative 7 on your rectangle? Right? When you measure something, are you ever going to get negative 7? No. So this one we're not going to use. Came out as part of our answer, but it's not possible to have that solution. So it says find the dimensions of the rectangle. In other words, we want to know what the length and the width are. We know the width was 4.5 yards, because we already found that, but we still need to find the length. So in order to find the length, we're going to go to this very first thing we did that said the length was 2 times the width plus 5. So if you take 2 times 4.5 plus 5, what do you get? $14. So our length is 14 yards. Now if we really wanted to double check and make sure that answer looked right, what we're going to do is take the length times the width, and we should get the area of 63. So if you take 14 times 4.5 on your calculator, do you get 63? 14 times 4.5, sure enough, is 63. So then that tells us, yep, we probably did the problem right then. Those are going to be our answers. So 14, going to be pretty similar to what we just did. Says the length of my rectangle is 5 meters less than twice the width. So what should I write L is equal to? 5 meters less than twice my width.
5 minus 5 m. Oh, what are we doing? The length of the rectangle?
The length is 5 meters less than twice my width. So 5 meters less would be minus 5. Twice my width would be 2w. So 2w minus 5, right? So this one up here was 5 meters more, or 5 yards more. This one's 5 meters less. Okay, the area of my rectangle is 33 meters squared. So we know that area is length times width. In for the area, we're going to put, what number is the area? 33. So 33 equals, in for the length, we're going to put our 2w minus 5 times our width that we don't know. So 33 equals 2w minus 5 times done. So, using our distributive property, 33 is going to equal, what's on the right side?
2w squared
2w squared
minus 5w.
minus 5w. And then what's the next thing we want to do? Minus the 33 to move that over to the other side. So 0 is going to equal 2w squared minus 5w minus 33. So now we need to solve that by factoring that out. Factors of 2w squared. 2w and w. My signs. What? The end is negative, so I'm going to have a positive and a negative, one of each, right? Positive times a negative is a negative on the end. Factors of 33, I want to get a minus 5 in the middle. What times what is 33?
11 times 3.
11 times 3, I like those numbers. Which order do I need to put them in?
And we're trying to get 5.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do 11 first.
The 11 first and then the 3.
3.
That's going to give me 11 minus 6, which is a positive 5. So now what do I need to do? So that I get a negative 5 instead of a positive 5.
Switch the sign.
Switch the signs, exactly. So we need it to be a minus here and a plus there. So 2w minus 11 equals 0, 4w plus 3 equals 0. Solve that first one for me. You're gonna what? Oh, you got 5.5. You already got it all figured out. I mean, when you put it in here. So he added the 11 and divided by the 2. So if we add our 11, 2w equals 11. If we divide 11 by 2, w equals 5.5 meters. On the other one, when we solve that one, what happens? We get negative 3, and we know that our width can't be negative, so we say, oh, we can't use that answer. So we found our width, we still need to find our length. How are we going to find our length? The length is equal to 2 times 5.5 minus 5, right? So 2 times 5.5 minus 5 gives me 6. So my length is going to be 6. And if I want to check my answer, what could I do?
We're going to do 5.5 times 2 plus...
How about I just do 5.5 times
Oh, yeah, okay.
6 and see if I get an answer of 33. Right? Length times width should equal our 33. And it does.
Is there a way we can do this, do that on a calculator?
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
You have to have a pretty fancy calculator.
If I buy one of those $150 calculators, would that help me?
Probably not. All right, the area of my rectangle is 42 yards squared. The length of my rectangle is 11 yards less than 3 times the width. So, the length is, how do I do 11 yards less than 3 times the width?
The length is 3W.
The length is 3W
Minus 11?
minus 11, exactly. The length is 3W minus 11. We know that the area is 42, so what can we write down for our equation?
$42 equals 3W minus 11. Oh, we're not done?
Now we're not done.
Times W.
Times W. The length times the width, right? So if we use our distributive property, 42 is going to equal
3W squared
3W squared
minus 11.
minus 11W, right? And then we're going to,
And then we're going to minus, oh, it's going to be 3W squared minus 11W minus 42.
exactly. And then we have to factor. How do we factor?
Three W
3W and W.
and W. So with the
Positive and a negative.
positive and a negative.
Factors of 42, we want to get a minus 11 in the middle.
42, so that's going to be, what's 7 times 6? Is that 42?
7 times 6 is 42, yes.
Okay. And we want to get 11.
We want to get 11, yep.
So we are going to, which thing? Or what is that? Do the 7 first.
So that's going to give me negative 18 plus 7, and guess what negative 18 plus 7 is?
11.
The negative 11 in the middle. Hey, we got it right. So now we got to solve those. 3W plus 7 equals 0, or W minus 6 equals 0. So what happens when we solve the first one?
Okay, then we go. Three W's. It's gonna be minus 7.
It's going to be minus 7, so 3W equals minus 7. And then we would,
And then the other one's gonna be positive 6.
the other one's going to be a positive 6, yep. But
Oh,
we
yeah,
didn't
okay.
finish the first one.
Oh yeah, okay, well then we divide it by
3, right?
3.
Now, can we have a width of negative 7/3? Can you have a width that's negative? No, right? So we can't use that negative 7/3. We're going to use the positive 6. Hey, we get to use a nice whole number instead of a decimal this time. So if my width is 6, I still need to find my length. How am I going to find my length?
Oh yes, your papers are there.
It's going to be 7. How'd you get that?
3 times 6 minus
3 times 6 minus 3 times 6 minus 11. Did you get that all figured out? So we went back and we said, oh, we got to find the length. The length is 3 times 6 minus 11. And so 18 minus 11 gave me 7, right? And we know 6 times 7 is 42. Yep, that would check out.